If I were to ask you, are you where you want to be in life? Let's say in the 5 categories: mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and yes, financially. All right, in those 5 categories, could you, with 100% certainty, say, man, Bo, I'm exactly where I want to be. I planned this out perfectly, and this is where I knew I was going to be. And if that's you, I applaud you. I really do. However, many of you, that ain't your testimony. And that's fine too, because we're going somewhere with it. But before we get started, I want to just ask you this. What is holding you back? If you're not where you want to be, and some of you are people of a certain age, like myself, I'm 51. If you are not where you want to be in those categories, what's holding you back? I got some thoughts about it. And I want to talk about it next in the Certified Man. I don't know why I'm whispering. I don't know. Hey, coming up on the Certified Man. What up, fam? Welcome to another edition of the Certified Man podcast. My name is KD Bowe. I am the founder of ManUP community, and we have a program called ManUP Certified, and it is where we help men scale, help them become better, and become the best version of themselves. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. This show, I realize, is not for everybody. It's not. This is for people who know, black men specifically, who know, oh, I'm okay, all right? I'm okay. But I know within me, there's something else for me. There's something deep inside in my core that's calling me to better. And I just need the steps to learn how to get there. And I want to be surrounded by some brothers who think the same thing and are en route to what I'm en route to. This show is for you. Dudes like this show is for you. I don't live in that space. Easy. We don't live in that space of telling men what they ain't. Nah, bro, you got too many other shows, too many other podcasts out here that only accentuate the things that you are not. That ain't us. First of all, we see you. I see you. And I know you're a good man. I know. And I don't say that based off of just actions. I say that because I know how hard you try. I know what many of you, your intentions are. I know where you want to go with your life. I know how you care about your kids. I know how you care about your wife. I also know your hangups and your struggles, but I know that you're a good dude and you en route to something amazing. And yes, you don't want to be just defined by the F-ups. You don't want that. And I get that. And this ain't that kind of show. So today's episode is going to be one where, we're, a little more direct, but this show is for people who opt into that, who say, hey, man, I'm willing to do the work, bro. Just tell me the truth. And that's what we do. We bring you the truth, unfiltered, with respect, because we're going to always respect you. We're always going to talk to you from the place of your worth. And bro, you're worthy. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of respect. And on this show, you're always going to get that. So I want to lay that foundation first to let you know what you're going to get from the Certified Man show. You're going to get some brothers, some great content that it's pro-black. I ain't going to hold you. And it is pro-male. We believe that the strength of a community can be gauged by the strength of the men that are in that community. All right? You ain't always got to go and pick up your kid from daycare in a Maybach or a Benz or a Bentley, a jet almost. No, bro. If you show up in your Toyota Tercel, do they even make that anymore? Hey, you got there on time. You showed up. Your baby ran out and hugged you. Daddy was just happy to see you there in the Toyota Tercel. If you was in a Maybach or woke up in a new Bugatti. My point is, you're present, bro. It ain't about your perfection. I see you. I value you. And I want you to know that I got your back, okay? Today we're talking about what's holding you back. Now, there are probably several things that may be holding you back. But I want to kind of get to the number one thing that I believe is holding you back. Proverbs 23:7 says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." As a man thinketh in his heart, or that word heart is mind, transliterated. As a man thinketh, so is he. Who he is in alignment to how he thinks, okay? If you are not in a place where you want to be, might I ask you to consider looking at how you think? This is a benchmark of this conversation. Who you are, where you are, and how you see yourself is directly correlated to the thoughts that you think. No matter how the thoughts got there, because I get it. I can hear people probably saying, yeah, but Bo, you don't understand my narrative. You don't know what happened. So while you up there, flapping your gums, you might want to pull back a little bit on that. I get it. And I don't mean any disrespect. What I'm not talking about here is fault. I'm not saying blame, because I know some situations can be a bit dicey, okay? What I am saying is, however the thoughts got there, whoever impressed them on you, whatever situation was present to have you thinking like you are, true, they may be to blame. They may be at fault, but you still are thinking the thoughts. So it's your experiences. It's your reality. So what I'm saying is, no matter how the thoughts got there, good, bad, or indifferent, they are the driving factor to your state of being. All right? Next thing is, we have to understand cause and effect. So your thoughts are the cause and your actions are the effect. And that's a very specific and unique distinction, because actions don't determine thoughts. Thoughts determine actions. Cause is the thoughts. The action is the effect. If you, in fact, want to deal with the actions that have led you to where you are today, in a place, possibly, where you ain't necessarily happy with where you are, you cannot begin with the action. You first must deal with the thought. In order to change the effect, which is the action, you must first change the cause, which is the thoughts. That is a very fundamental piece of today's conversation. It takes you out of the victim seat and it absolutely puts you in the driver's seat, and that's where you want to be. So here we go. I want to ask you about your foundational thoughts. May not have been a term that you've ever heard before, and I don't even know if it exists, but for this conversation, it exists. What are your foundational thoughts about yourself? Foundational thoughts. At the core of who you are, what do you believe about yourself? At your core. The foundational thoughts about yourself, how you see yourself, how you think about yourself, those thoughts were in place definitely by the time you're 10. That's actually really late. But by around 7-ish, your thoughts about yourself, your capabilities, how you think about the world, but definitely how you think about yourself, is set by the time you're 7 years old. And it's happening and you don't even know what's happening. Those foundational thoughts come as a result of the experiences that you had from your primary caretakers during your formative years. As I said, up until you're around 7 years old. And it's how you thought about the actions that happened in your surroundings, how you thought about the words that were spoken to you at an early age, how you felt about them. Things like being told that you can do anything, or being told that you can't do nothing right. Being told that you were smart, or being told that you were stupid. Feeling affirmed, feeling abandoned, feeling worthy of love regardless of what you do, or having to do something good, phenomenal, fantastic in order for you to feel a semblance of love. So the kind of parenting that you had, listen, you're dealing with it now. Good, bad, or indifferent. You're dealing with it now. And it makes all the difference. Sarah Blakely is the founder of Spanx, the billionaire founder of Spanx. And she recounted when her and her brother would go to school and they come home, the dad would always ask, how many times did you fail today? And when they didn't have an adequate answer, like, or I tried to ride my bike and I fell down, or I tried out for the cheerleading squad and I didn't get it. If they had no story like that, the dad would be disappointed. But if they ever came home and they said, I tried this and it didn't work, dad was, woohoo, give him a high five. Yeah. Because what he did was he reframed failure for his children. He said, if you're not failing, then to me, you're not trying new things. You're not great at everything. If you're trying new stuff, you're going to suck at some stuff. And so just the idea that he was able to reframe failure and they were never afraid to fail. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. Spanx. Touch your neighbor and say, I don't know, say whatever you want to say. What you got as a child, what you received as a child, the experiences, the words, how you felt, it formed your foundational thoughts about yourself. And they are powerful. Oh, they are powerful. So much so that they lay the template. They prove the validity to you of every other thought that comes after them in your life and how you feel about yourself. If it does not line up with those foundational thoughts about yourself, you won't even believe that they're true. It's the person that was told that they are ugly all their life, and when somebody finally comes along and tells them that they are beautiful, they don't believe that. Thank you. You're just being nice. I don't believe that. For the person that is told, you're really smart, when they were told all of their life that they were not, you're just trying to be nice. Because those foundational thoughts about themselves had already been laid, and they are powerful. And any thought that is incongruent with the original template-forming foundational thought that you've had about yourself and how you saw yourself, anything that don't look like that, it is not believed. So let me say this. You cannot build a real, secure life. The kind of life that you say you want, the place you say you want to be. You cannot build that kind of life on top of a foundation of thoughts about yourself that is faulty, not real, and insecure. It won't happen. Now, the inverse is true as well. If you did, in fact, have a solid, real, secure foundation of thoughts about yourself that was built, well, of course, you can build the kind of life that you want. You definitely can do that. But watch this. If some negativity is tried to be put on top of that foundation, no. You believe about yourself. What you believe about yourself is so strong, it doesn't line up with the template that is already set, and you won't believe it. You'll reject it. It's like, I heard as a kid so much that I was stupid. All right, okay. But the problem with that is that came after I'd already learned that I was brilliant and I was smart. Shout out to Miss, her name is Miss Howard now, but Miss Becky Woodhouse, my kindergarten teacher, who fought to make sure that I got in school early when I was 4 years old. She fought to ensure that I was in the academically gifted program. She laid the foundation. You're smart. You're intelligent. So when I heard you stupid, I heard it. It didn't stick because I know better. the foundation had already been laid. So listen, I know what I'm saying, and this is not a death sentence. There's a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow, so let me just get there. I want to challenge you that even though it is tough, it's tough, it is, but it's possible. And if you have the willpower and you have the courage to revisit your foundational thoughts about yourself and the courage to re-examine them, and if it ain't strong enough to build the kind of life that you want, if you have the courage to break it, to break up that foundation, lay another one, this is the perfect show for you. Okay, you ready? Let's dig in a little bit more. So we know that who we are, where we are, and how we see ourselves is in direct correlation to the thoughts that we think. In the same vein, let me go to this next one. Many of us, the thing that's holding us back is that we don't actually know who we are. Okay? You ain't Hakeem on fries. You ain't the Hakeem that Mr. McDowell sees. No, you Hakeem, the Prince of Zamunda. Come on. You have royal blood running through your veins, spiritually and naturally. On the natural side, sometimes we see ourselves through the limited prism, that limited filter of Western America. But if you can look at the Black man on a global scale, that bro is winning, which is why one of the reasons why I want to do more international travel. I got to experience it. I got to see it. Because there's something about us that is unique among any other race. No disrespect, I ain't hating on nobody, but I'm bragging on mine. We different. People want to look like us. They want to act like us. They want our swag. You know? They want our riz. Come on. And you can get so caught up in being in the trees that you don't even understand that, bro, you in the forest. You so close to everything that you don't really see how amazing you are. It's the proverbial eagle that's raised around a bunch of chicken. You don't understand, bro, you got wings, you can fly, and you're powerful. But you've allowed, in many cases, somebody to dictate, to determine that you are worth this, you're gonna show up at this time, and you're gonna make this amount of money. And you're gonna do what I say you're gonna do. Culture, laws, the whole nine. No. Something special about you. Something unique about you. I was at my favorite spot one night, and this former basketball player, he played internationally. He told me a very unique story, and I'll share it with you today. He said, when I was in Uzbekistan, his words, I didn't even know that was a thing. So if I'm saying it wrong, y'all forgive me. When I was in Uzbekistan, I was playing basketball over there. I was young, in my 20s, and had a big old afro, tall, skinny. And he said, I remember, how people would look at us and how they would revere us, Black men. And he said it was just so different from America. It's like to be able to walk around and just feel respected. He said it was incredible. So he said one day a woman brought her child to me, and I was around, and she brought the kid and said, here, and she took a picture of the child, him holding the baby. Cool. Fast forward maybe 20, 21 years later, he finds himself back over there for some reason. Not sure, maybe he just liked it over there. I mean, we tend to move or gravitate in the direction where we're praised, so I don't see why he wouldn't not be over there. So he said this young girl comes up to him and she's just bawling, just crying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And she grabs him by the hand, she's pulling him, and he was like, hey, whoa, hold on, where we going? But whatever it was, he felt comfortable or safe enough to go with her. So this girl ends up pulling him to her house. And as he walks through the door, he sees on the mantle, centerpiece with flowers and what have you around the candles in front of it, a picture of him in his 20s holding a baby who now is this girl that was crying that brought him to the house. Just, I'm gonna say deifying, but I'm not really going there, but I'm saying giving him a level of respect that he had never experienced. And I'm not saying that things got to be on that wise as far as the respect that we can have or that we can garner or that we should garner. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you got options because not everybody sees you the same way you see yourself. And the sooner you realize that there's something special about you, okay, that's natural. Let's talk about the kingdom of citizens of the kingdom of God. Man, you got royal DNA running through your spiritual veins there. You are not a human having a spiritual experience. You're a spirit having a human experience. And the sooner you align yourself with that possibility and that reality, I think things are going to change for you. And you're going to start seeing your capabilities and your possibilities from a different vantage point. No, you're not just seeing the trees, you see the forest now. And it feels different, and it should feel different. So not knowing yourself, not seeing yourself adequately, properly, is one of the things that's holding you back. Here's another one. Criticism. Criticism could be holding you back. I do not know what it is about criticism that is so crippling. Some people say, I don't really care. Okay. But most people do. They do care. And they will do anything, for the most part, not to be criticized. If what I'm about to do is going to have people laugh at me, if what I'm about to do is going to have folks call me crazy, ridiculed, make a meme about me, I'm going to stay away from that. And that is the mindset of a lot of people. We put way too much emphasis and way too much weight on people's opinion about us to the point where if I'm going to be laughed at, if I'm going to be criticized, I just rather not do it. I'd rather stay in a place where I ain't got people on me like that, because my ego can't handle it. So there's this thing called loss aversion. Okay, loss aversion in layman's terms is you hate losing more than you love winning. It's like, and no joke, it's just like this. The thought of gaining $100 does not feel as severe or doesn't stand out as much as losing 50. That's loss aversion. It's a cognitive behavioral something. And a lot of people have that loss aversion. I don't want to lose. I would rather stay mediocre than to lose credibility, lose respect by doing something that will make people laugh at me. One of the ways to basically guarantee that you stay mediocre is to give more credence to the critic than to your own gut, to your own passion, to your own drive. You're going to stay mediocre that way. If a critic's words can break you to the point where you don't want to move forward, and I know what that feels like. I mean, I ain't even coming at you. I know what that feels like. That's a thing. That's a thing. And the only way for you to break out of that mode is if you put blinders on and do it anyway. Man, write that book anyway. Shoot your shot anyway. I know you're scared, but do it anyway. Because the more you do it, the more you're going to come to realize that it's in the reps, bro, you just going to get better. And honestly, if you don't stand up to the fear of criticism, it doesn't go away on its own. The only way to get rid of it is to do that thing, bro. Do it. Do it. Some of you are stuck at ready aim, ready aim, ready aim, ready aim, ready aim, ready aim. I can't quite fire yet because I'm not quite ready. You know why you ain't quite ready? Because you're thinking about all of the people that's going to look at what you produce or what you put out, and you thinking about what they might say. So you want to get it perfect so that it's beyond reproach. Man, listen. You don't have, there is no content, no book that's beyond the reproach of some. So the only way to get past that fear of criticism is that you do it. Publish it. Hey man, I get it. You're overweight. Okay, cool. You don't go to the gym because you don't really want people looking at you. Bro, you at the gym. What I'm saying to you, fam, and some of y'all, this sounds very weird, sounds very odd, but I'm telling you that there are people that don't move. They don't move outside of their comfort zone because they cannot live with the idea that somebody criticized them, somebody laughed at them, somebody said, "What do you think you're doing?" And it's not their voice that's the problem in the first place. It's this voice. Because that voice mirrors this voice. And that's what you can't stand. Oh, bro, let me tell you something. You're better than that. You're better than that. Les Brown said when he first started doing public speaking, he was so nervous, he would hold the side of the podium and you could visibly see it shaking. Ask me who is among the top motivational speakers in the world for decades now. It's Les Brown. You're not going to get better until you start. So the critics be damned. Critics be damned. Come on, get it done. You in the gym, you working out, you don't want nobody to talk about the big guy in the room. Guess what? You won't be the big guy in the room next year. You may not even be the big guy in the room in 6 months. What I'm saying is you got to start. And don't worry about the critics. You are worrying about the critics. I get it. I'm saying don't worry about the critics. And the only thing that will make them shut up, at least those critics, you got some more coming, but those critics, make them shut up, success. That's it. Put your blinders on. Focus on your success. Focus on the route that you're going. Run your route. Get there when you get there. Because if it takes you a year to get there, then that's a year that you were in progress. You were in route. But if you don't start, that's another year that you could have started. And that's another year that you behind track. And some of you, man, listen, and I'm not just talking about weight, I'm talking about a lot of stuff. Starting the business, downsizing. Some of y'all, man, your kids are gone. You got this big old house. But it's the image. You don't want people saying, "Oh man, they done fell off." So you're still trying to keep this. Listen, execute. Do what you want to do. Do what you're passionate about. Put your blinders on. Move in the direction that you want to go. And don't worry about them critics. Because guess what? They was here last year. They're here this year. They'll be here next year. That's the one constant. And no matter how you move, they always going to be here. My thing is this. I would rather you move in the direction that you want to go. And while they still talking, you are 1, 2, 3 years further down the road. You so far, you don't even care anymore. Don't let criticism stop you. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop. I know it can. Don't let it stop you. And the final thing I want to share with you today is just plain old fear. Plain old fear. You're afraid. You know what procrastination is? Fear. It's just fear. You're afraid. False evidence appearing real. And we talk about the false part, but it's evidence. See, your thoughts have locked in on something that you are using as evidence, and it is proving why you shouldn't do it. See, that's the reason why I don't need to do it. That right there. But may I say something to you? There was a scripture that blessed me so much. I was in a rut recently. And there's a scripture that blessed me so much, it pulled me out of the rut because I was stuck in a thought pattern to the point where it was irrational. It was an irrational thought pattern that was not based in anything but story. I came across Psalms 27:1. You know it. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When you have God on your side, why are you scared? I'll tell you why you're scared. You scared because you don't realize he on your side. You're scared because you thought that you did something that got you outside of maybe his graces or maybe his purview, because we know God is everywhere, but somehow we think that when we doing that thing, yeah, God ain't in that. God ain't over here. Yes, he was. He was there the whole time. I never leave you, nor will I forsake you. God was there. And we put a block between him and us. He never did. I used to think that the scripture, who shall separate us from the love of God? I thought that was my declaration to him, saying that there ain't nothing gonna happen, God, that's gonna take me away from you. No, it was his declaration to me, saying nothing shall separate you from my love. You my child. Would you throw your child away? Would you treat your son or your daughter the way that you think God treats you? Would you? No, hell no. No, you wouldn't. So what makes us think that God would do us that way? Man, listen, God has a burning, passionate love for all of us because we his children. And you know what the opposite of fear is? It's not faith. The opposite of fear is love. Because the Bible says that perfect love casts out fear. So the opposite of fear is love. When you fortify your heart and your mind and your whole being in the fact that God loves you so much, he would never, ever have you in a state of being where you don't want to stay there and he just gonna leave you there. That ain't God. So the fear that we have, this trepidation that we have, is unwarranted because the Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Man, God, he has not given us a spirit of fear. If you got fear, if you're struggling with fear, just know that God didn't give you that. No matter how you set it up. I brought this on myself. Man, God did not give you fear. What did he give you? He gave you power, love, there it is again, and he gave you a sound mind. I'm gonna say this final thing about fear. Matter of fact, I'll just wrap it up with this. I was in a time of prayer and meditation, and I was asking God to show me, like show me my potential, show me what I can do, show me who I am, you know? And he didn't. He didn't. Not, at least not in the way that I was asking. What he said was, I've told you everything that you need to know for this journey. And I've equipped you with everything you need for this journey. And what you will discover along the way is what you will discover along the way. God was cold with it. I didn't go hold you. He was cold with it. Because he didn't speak and answer my question. He spoke to the underlying fear that was accompanying the question. I know God has already told me what he has already told me. I was saying to him, in essence, rather slyly, I might add, that I need more details. I need to know more before I truly commit to starting. And he was like, nah, I ain't playing that. I ain't doing that. There are things that you're going to know, bro, that will unveil themselves about who you are, what your capabilities are, who you are designed to be and destined to be, and your true power. But it will only be revealed as you start moving. No fear, bro. No fear. I get it. I know what it feels like to have your heart and your mind almost to the point where you want to cry because the thing that he's asking you to do, you're terrified about. But I promise you this, God is so unique in how he blesses us, unique in how he charts our path. He tells you just enough, because I promise you, if he had told me 20 years ago that some of the stuff that I would experience en route to where he was taking me, that I was going to experience, I'm pretty sure I would have never started. No matter how wonderful the destination is, I probably wouldn't have started. I don't want that. I ain't signed up for that. God gives us what he knows we can handle. And so what he tells you, you could take it to the bank to know that it is enough. And when you start, there is a power that you will realize. There are gifts that you will realize. There's a knowledge base that you will realize once you get started. Some of us got to know everything in the beginning, and that's fear. That's fear. You're just scared. You want to make sure you want to mitigate all the points, but God don't move like that. What he wants is our obedience. The details, okay. Just start. And things become clear along the way. You get better, bro. You get stronger. And I'm saying, be clear on your destination. Know who you want to become. Get moving, bro. Get moving. You are closer than you think. And sometimes you are at the tipping point. You're at the tipping point. And the only thing that's stopping you is this last extreme piece of discipline, this last extreme piece of radical obedience. You know, some of you feel stuck in a holding pattern. You know, you're going round and around and around in a circle, and it feels like I've done all of the things. It's like I'm good, bro, but why am I still here? Like, what is the thing that's got me stuck? And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna suggest this. Take some time, radical discipline, radical obedience. Pull yourself away for a little while. Lock in, focus, and hear from a different set of ears. Even if you gotta, I'm currently in my monk mode. I just pulled away for a while. For me, it's 21 days. It would have been longer if I hadn't gotten ill last week. But for 21 days, man, I'm locking in. Only social media I'm doing is posting these clips, putting this thing on YouTube, putting it on the podcast, but that's it. Everything else, I'm locking in because I feel like I'm at the tipping point. Something is about to break. And the only thing I want to make sure of is that I'm not the person that's holding myself up. My stinking thinking got me tripping, overwhelmed with the critics, riddled by fear. Nah, bro, that ain't what I want for me, and I don't want that for you too. I seek better for you. Not in comparison to nobody else, but I hear you. You see it in yourself. You see something different about you. You've been different. You ain't like none of your boys. You ain't like none of your family. You different. And you believe that you can shake up the world globally with what you got in you. And all I'm saying is lock in, because God is not the kind of God that want to keep back from you a burning passion that he put in you. But are you willing to discipline yourself? Radical obedience, radical sacrifice. Lock in. 30 days, bro. 30 days. Just lock in. 21 days. Lock in. Flip up your diet. All that sugar and alcohol and weed or whatever it is. None of that. Partying, hanging out, kicking it. None of that. Dead scrolling on social media. None of that. Binge watching Netflix, watching TV. None of that. Lock in. If I told you that you were 30 days away from getting the revelation that you needed to move to the next phase of your life that can change the generations of your family, your grandchildren will whisper your name in hushed tones of reverence. But you gotta lock in. You gotta want it. And if you do, bro, it's available for you. I love you, man. Like, subscribe, share. That's what I ask. Until next time, man up.